Blessings to you. Today is April 4th, 2022. And as you can hear from my voice, it's a bit raspy. Seems like these colds, I'm having a difficult time getting past them with the weather just so out of whack. So please bear with me today. And if you don't see me in certain places, just it's usually because I'm not feeling well. But this is one of those topics this morning that honestly, I really, really wanted to take a break, just kind of to heal my voice, heal my body, rest. But I understand that this isn't about me, and I'm always seeking the Lord concerning the messages. Doesn't matter what I'm going through, no matter what I'm facing. I understand that this is not about me. And when I gave him my yes, it was a yes in spite of how I feel, in spite of what I want, and in spite of whatever messages I personally want to make. So today's topic is not going to be based on a whole bunch of scriptures or anything like that, because he really hasn't given me any scriptures, but just a topic that I wish that we would address more, because so many people are affected by it, and it could be misinterpreted if we are not seeking God and asking for discernment and wisdom. And it is decisions. Are we making decisions based on they're just bad decisions or hurt decisions? And what the Lord brought to me is that a lot of times we make decisions out of a place of hurt. Not so much that we're bad people, but we're hurt people. And we're making hurt decisions. And I will be the first to say, I have made a lot of hurt decisions in life. I don't consider myself to be a bad person, bad heart, bad intentions towards anybody. But oftentimes, because I haven't healed in certain areas, or because I've healed and some other things have happened, some of that hurt has caused me to make some decisions that weren't wise. And a lot of times when we're dealing with people, we don't understand that we're dealing with hurt people. So when we go and try to minister or counsel people, and trust me, I've talked to many people, hundreds of people over countless of years, and I've made a lot of mistakes with counseling and ministering to people, because I haven't always discerned that what I was dealing with wasn't so much of as a bad person, but a hurt person. And listen, it is very, very important to understand the difference. Now, there are some people that just have bad intentions. They throw caution to the wind. They really don't care about anything or anybody, and they just make decisions or bad decisions because, sad to say that they're just really not good-hearted people. But then you have a lot of people, and probably more often than not, make bad decisions, but out of a place of being hurt. And I've seen enough posts and have talked to enough people, and I'm talking about, like I said, over countless and countless and countless of years, and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, that the problem was that they were hurting, and they made a lot of hurt decisions. Listen, we have to understand that if you're a person that God has called you or chosen you, or this is a desire of yours to be a counselor or to minister to people, you have to understand and discern, is that person making these decisions out of a place of being hurt, and how you need to go and address that situation. A lot of times we go in and try to attack the problem. Okay, this person did this, they did that, they did this, they did that. Okay, the first response is, okay, now we're going to attack that problem, when really we should be attacking the hurt behind it. Because if you really have studied people, And I make it my business to study people. I don't just study things and habits. I invest in studying people. And I really, really pray and try to use discernment with dealing with people. And trust me, I've grown over the years. And what I have discovered, not just with my own self, but with other people, is that a lot of times that the actions that are being displayed is coming from a place of hurt. And a lot of times the things that we're seeing doesn't even have anything to do with that particular thing, but it has manifested from some other thing. It has come out in a certain behavior, or things that they have said, or their demeanor. And a lot of times we overlook the hurt. So I have found a lot of times, and in no way, listen, is it to excuse any behavior that has been displayed that wasn't a good decision, that may have been a very, very bad decision, because I believe in cause and effect. You do certain things, there's consequence or effect behind it. But what I have discovered is that if we don't deal with the hurt, the root cause of why someone did or said what they did, you really don't get a lot of positive results. So that's one of the things that the Lord had really, really put on my heart today, is that we're going in and we're attacking what the person has done, but we're overlooking the hurt behind it. And it's so easy to judge people based on the things that they do, the things that they say, because we're looking a lot of times from a place of being whole ourselves, or a place of we've never even been in their situation. We don't really understand what they're going through. And for a lot of us ministers, which I have seen and has happened to me many, many times, that someone has come to counsel or to minister to me, and really haven't taken the time to discern. It was so much deeper than the action behind what I did, but it was more so the hurt behind the action. And they went in and they attacked what I did, but they overlooked the hurt behind it. So that part never got dealt with. And the action really, it didn't really change, or it went away for a little bit. And then I saw myself going back to the same thing, or the same behavior, or the same a hurt decision. So I just want to encourage people to really, really think about when you're ministering to people. And yes, you do have to at some point address the action, but you have to first of all determine the cause behind it. And I'm telling you, more often than not, it is coming from a place of hurt, whether that person realizes it or whether that person wants to admit it. Because trust me, it's not easy to tell people I'm hurting. And I try to be very, very transparent as much as I possibly can with certain things, because I want to help people. I want people to understand that I deal with a lot of hurts too. I deal with a lot of issues that I struggle with. So when I get on here and I'm doing these videos and telling half my business, it's a lot of times I'm dealing with a lot of hurt, dealing with a lot of issues that I'm asking God to help me through. But He still has me to come on and do these videos, even beyond all of the hurt. Because listen, it not only helps you, and I'm hoping and praying that it's helping you, but it's helping me too. It's helping me to really come to terms with a lot of things, to address a lot of issues that may have been overlooked, or people that I have gone to seek counsel and guidance. And I'll be the first to say, talking to some people in certain situations has actually made things harder for me. I remember there were times that would talk to people in leadership about certain situations that I was going through, and I may have been tired or overwhelmed, and the counsel I got in return wasn't good counsel. It was, and I know that they sincerely wanted to help me, but they kind of made a bad situation worse, because I don't think they took the time to really think about, okay, or really kind of put themselves in my shoes. And sometimes it's easier to say, just go ahead and push through and push through and push through and give it to God, and lean on God and trust in God. But when you're in a place of hurting, sometimes it's not so simple to do. And sometimes that's the last thing you want to do, is like, okay, how do I give it to God? How does a heart that's hurting, how does a heart that's broken give something to something whole? You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times the hurt was never addressed. It was kind of skimmed over. It was kind of bypassed or covered up. And my situation really, really didn't get better until the Lord took me to some people, or really sat me down and said, okay, we're going to address the hurt in your life so you can stop making these hurt decisions. So this is something I really, really wanted to, or the Lord wanted to really, really address today, because a lot of times I don't really have heard it mentioned too much. As it, gosh, I just want to be very, very careful with my words, because everybody has their own ministry. They have their own calling and their own gift. My gift is to really dig deep and get into those, some of those things that may get overlooked in ministry, because remember, we are dealing with people, we're dealing with beings, we're dealing with emotions, and we're dealing with feelings. And a lot of times, the easiest thing to say, like I said, is just to tell people, push through it, give it to God, lean on Him and trust in Him. When really, He's even saying there's some hurt. They can't get to that place of trusting in me and believing in me and relying on me, because they're hurting. You have to deal with the hurt of people. So this is something I really, really, I keep saying me, it's not me, you all, so please forgive me. This is something that the Lord really, really want us to really dig deeper into when we are talking to people, when we are counseling people, and even when we're praying for people. And listen, a lot of times I hear people or see posts that say, okay, pray for me, but they don't give a reason behind it. Listen, for some things, you don't need a reason, because when you're in tune with God, when you have a relationship with Him, He's gonna direct you in how to pray anyway. And a lot of times, the Lord has even shown me what the situation was without the person even having to tell me what they need prayer for. But for certain situations, when a person is dealing with a situation, whether it be a relationship, whether it be family, whether it be finances, um, and they're making decisions, we have to go and really, really seek the Lord and say, okay, are these bad decisions? Are they based on hurt decisions? And if so, how do we minister to that person's hurt? That's another big thing too. A lot of times we don't know how to minister hurt. How do you minister to someone that's hurting? How do you address hurt? Because that's something you can't really see the hurt. We just see the manifestations of a hurting person. And when I say the manifestations of a hurting person, that means the things that they say, the things that they do, their demeanor, whether they're withdrawn, or whether they're just out and just boisterous. And and a lot of things we get over is overlooked when you deal with OCD, or you're dealing with depression, you're dealing with certain addictions, you're dealing with really just, and there are just functioning hurt people too. So it's, those situations are a little bit difficult to discern. But we have to make sure when we're counseling and ministering to people, that we're first we discerning, where is it coming from. Are we dealing with a person who just don't care, who will throw caution to the wind, who just really don't really care about consequences? Or are we dealing with hurt people? And today's message is concerning hurt decisions, making decisions out of a place of being hurt. And this is where the Lord is trying to get us to. He wants us to get us to a place of wholeness. He wants us to come to Him with any and everything that we have, that we're going through, and what's burdening, and what's heavy on our hearts, and what burdens that we are carrying. But a lot of times we're dealing with a lot of hurt issues, a lot of things that we haven't dealt with. And just because you overlook something, just because you bury it, doesn't mean that it's no longer there. And that's why you see and hear about a lot of people carry hurts from year to year to year. Then it turns into decade to decade to decade. And before you know it, they have carried all of that hurt their entire life, and they never get healed from it. And the only thing that we look at is that, oh, this person made bad decisions their entire life, when the actuality of it is that this was a person that was hurt, that have been hurt their entire life, and they never got healed from that deep rooted hurt. And we judge people based on, oh, you should have been over this by now. And for some things, yes, we hold on to things because sometimes holding on to hurt gives us a sense of empowerment. It gives us a sense of control. And a lot of times hurt people don't want to give up control because they've been hurt in that area. So being vulnerable is difficult. Being vulnerable is difficult to a hurt person because for a lot of people, that's how they got hurt. They submitted. They were vulnerable in situations. They let their guards down in situations. Even some strong people that seem or that are seemingly strong, they're dealing with a lot of deep rooted issues, and they never ever get addressed. So this is something that I believe the Lord really, really wants us to think about and to pray about, and really, really take in consideration when we are dealing with people, when we are ministering to people, when we are counseling people. It is very, very important that we first discern, are we dealing with someone that's hurt? Even if you just have a little bit of hurt, you would be surprised how much holding on to a little bit of hurt will cause us to do and make some very, very bad decisions that will affect us the rest of our life. So if a person holding on to a little bit of hurt can do a lot of damage, what do you think a person holding on to a lot of hurt, how much damage can be done to that person? And also, a lot of that hurt spills over into our relationships, and it hurts other people. Joyce Meyer says, I've heard her say many times, hurt people hurt people. And I found that to be so true. When you're hurting inside, some people knowingly and unknowingly, intentionally and unintentionally hurt other people, because for some of them, they just want people to feel the same type of hurt that they're feeling. Some people, they hurt people unintentionally because they don't know how to deal with that hurt. They haven't discerned that, okay, yeah, I'm still hurting, or they're just not being honest, and it spills over into their relationships. And one thing that I found out, even with my own life, when I'm making hurt decisions, it affects other people. Because trust me, we have people in our lives that's sitting back, that's watching us, that care about us, that want to help us. But a lot of times, a person that's hurting, they become withdrawn, they become offensive. They a lot of times they shut people out. It's difficult for some people to connect with others because that's a barrier that they have built up, because they are dealing with a lot of hurt, and it's difficult to trust. And you have a lot of trust issues that come with people who are holding on to hurt. I'll be the first to say, God is still dealing with me and healing me through trust issues. He really, really is, because it's hard to trust people when you've been hurt and you hold on to that hurt, and you have to learn to trust at some point in life. You can't go through life distrusting everything and everybody, because you shut out the people that God is trying to put in your life to help you. And you shut out potentially good things and places that God is trying to get you to, but you're going in with this wall built up. Is, it's like, oh, what if that hurts me? What if it, does more damage than good? Or what if it's, all these different reasons that hurt people come up with to stay in a place of being withdrawn. So as I said before, this was a subject that was really near and dear to me. I could go on forever and ever and never in a day about this subject, because this is one of the things that has really held me back in life, was holding on to a lot of hurt and making a lot of hurt decisions. And it was very easy for people to misinterpret and say, oh, that's just a bad person, or that person is stupid. We're so quick to call people stupid, and because they don't because we don't understand or haven't been in that person's shoes or their situations, and we really can't connect with why. And we try to think, well, if that was me, I would do things a little bit different. But I'm here to say, maybe you would and maybe you wouldn't. We don't know. Everybody is different. Everybody has gone through different things in life, and everybody carries a different level of hurt. Some people, thank God, have healed from those hurts. Some have a little bit that they're still needing work on, needing to let go. But trust me, there are a lot of people that's holding on to a lot of deep rooted hurts, and either they haven't dealt with it, they know that they're there, they haven't dealt with it, they don't know how to deal with it, or they're shutting out the people that God has put in their lives to help them, or they just really don't know that the reason why they're making these decisions because it's coming from a place of hurt. And there are some people who really don't know they have some hurts that they have to deal with, and some of that is coming from a place of pride. Who wants to admit that they're hurting and making decisions based on hurt? Especially if you deem yourself to be a very strong person, a person that, you're the go-to person. It's hard to say I'm hurting in certain situations and I'm making decisions based on a place of hurt. Like I said, in no way is it to excuse any decision that may be unhealthy, unwise, or bad for yourself. But we have to really take in consideration, is this coming from a place of hurt? And more often than not, it is. I just wanted to bring the, not me, excuse me. This was a subject that I believe that the Lord really placed on my heart to bring before all of us, because trust me, it hit me first before it even hit this video. Take in consideration, when you're dealing with people, is it coming from a place of hurt? God bless you. I love you. I'm yet praying.